So two vectors are orthogonal. It's a big fancy word. When there is a degree of 90 between them. So I'll draw an example. If we have two vectors like this, these are orthogonal because this degree we know is what? 90 degrees. Good. So to figure out if they're orthogonal, just ignore all this writing. All you have to do is multiply u times v. That's the dot product, correct?
Yes.
And if it equals 0, then they're orthogonal. Then they're not orthogonal. Yep. Okay, so tell me how to find the dot product of these two.
What would you do with the inside?
Times plus, that's going to give us negative
24
plus, which equals, very good. So these are orthogonal because their dot product is 0. Alright, same thing for this next one. How do I find the dot product of these two vectors? 6 times 1 plus. So are these orthogonal? Yes, because 6 plus negative 6 is 0. Go ahead and do 12 on your own. Check if they are orthogonal. What's the dot product of this next one?
6 times 2.
So yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Flip it. Next is parallel. We know what parallel means. For vectors, this is how parallel vectors would look. Here's an example. Okay, I have two vectors like this. These are parallel. I know it kind of looks weird. So if these vectors are parallel, this is how we check it. That means that you multiplied one vector by something to get the other one. Like you can multiply your x and y by the same value to get this if they are parallel. So here's an easy way to check. Take your x2 and y2 and divide them by your x1 and y1. And if they're the same number, they're parallel. Divide. So x2 divided by x1, that would look like negative 6 divided by 3. That's what? Alright, let's check our y values. y2 over y1. That's negative 4 over what? 2, which is negative 2. So because this is the same vector as our v, just multiplied by negative 2, they are parallel. So let's check the next one. I'm going to divide what two numbers first? 6 and 3, that makes. And then negative 10 over, which gives you 2. These are the same, so these vectors are parallel. So for this next one on your test will say prove if they're orthogonal, parallel, or neither. Okay, so we have to check both cases. To check if they're orthogonal, we just find their what? Dot product. Let's go ahead and do that. So tell me how to set that up.
Negative 4 times 3 is negative 6.
Okay, that would give us what? And when we add them together, we'll get what? Negative 24. So are these orthogonal? Because their dot product's not what? So not orthogonal. How do we check if they're parallel? Divide what?
6 divided
Mm-mm.
6 by negative 3.
Negative 4 divided by 3.
Yes.
And you don't actually have to find this decimal. You can just leave it as a fraction. And then you would also divide negative 6 by what? This would be what when we divide? Negative 3, right? Are negative 3 and negative 4 over 3 the same? Nope, so they're not parallel. Easy enough? Good. So I want you to do this independent practice, these 3 problems on your own, and then we'll go over them, and then I'll let you get started on your checkpoint. So use these 3 on your own. This is all of chapter 7.7, kind of a review of it.
Go back up.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, don't do number 2, sorry. Because it's not on your checkpoint. Just number 1 and 3. Let me know if you need some help with number 3.
Both of our calculators are not
No, it's yours. Yours good. Mine was on you need to put crap on top. Anybody want more time on these? Okay. Alright, let's start going over these. What did y'all get for the dot product for number 1? The first one? Good. Do I need to go over how we got that? 72. Okay, dot product's just multiplying our x's together, so 12 times 5, and multiplying your y's together, so 3 times 4. Alright, this formula is going to be on the test tomorrow, so you don't have to memorize it, but just to review, to find the angle between two vectors, you have to use inverse cosine. Do y'all remember what goes on the top? Dot product. Good. What goes on bottom? Yes. So the magnitude of u times the magnitude of v. So what was the dot product? You'd have to multiply what two numbers first?
The whole dot product or just
the whole thing, not half of it.
-1 times -4
Plus?
5 times -3.
Good. So that would give us 4 plus -15. So our dot product was what? Good. Alright, the magnitude of u. We find that by finding the square root of what plus what? 4 squared plus, yes, 3 squared. Does everybody understand why I don't put -3? Yeah, just making sure everybody knew. And then this next one would be 1 squared plus 5 squared. So that's cosine inverse -11 over the square root of 25 and the square root of 26. Now you could either change this to 5 or leave it a square root of 25. Doesn't really matter which one. Yeah. So what'd you get when you multiply them together? What'd you get? Yeah. 25 times 26. That's fine. So 650. So then you would just plug it in your calculator by hitting second cosine, -11 divided by parentheses square root of 650. Oops, let me go back. And you should have got 116 degrees. Everybody good with these? Any questions? Alright, I'll pass out your checkpoints. It's on this chapter plus 7, what was it? 6. So you can use your notes on these. Once you get done, you can just sit quietly, and if everybody finishes on time, we'll go ahead and review some problems for your test tomorrow. Nope, it's the same one you were working on the other day. 7, 7, and 7, 6. Very good. Please don't talk to